Hello friends and welcome to another theater classroom video. If you haven't watched my videos before, I'm Miss Laboda. I teach theater at Country Place Elementary. Today I'm going to be telling y'all a folk tale starring Anansi the Spider. Now if you go to Country Place, you already know Anansi the Spider because we've already heard stories about him. But today I'm going to tell you a new folk tale that's called How Anansi Got 8 Thin Legs. Now I also happen to have an Anansi with me today. So I want you to notice because Anansi is going to change throughout this story, okay? So I'm going to tell you this story and I really want you to be thinking about how you can act Anansi out, especially as a human trying to be a character with 8 legs, right? So without further ado, here is How Anansi Got 8 Thin Legs. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there lived a spider named Anansi. Anansi's wife was a very good cook, but always Anansi loved to taste the food that others in the village made for themselves and for their families. One day, he stopped by Rabbit's house. Rabbit was his good friend. "There are greens in your pot!" cried Anansi excitedly. Anansi loved greens. "They're not quite done," said Rabbit, "but they will be soon. Stay and eat with me." "I would love to, Rabbit, but I have things to do," Anansi said hurriedly. He knew that if he stayed at Rabbit's house, he would surely find jobs for Anansi to do, and Anansi did not want to do any work. "I know. How about I spin a web? I will tie one end of the web to my leg and the other end to your pot. When you are done cooking, you can tug on the web and I'll come running." Rabbit thought this was a great idea, and so it was done. "I smell beans," said Anansi. "Delicious beans cooking in a pot." "Come eat our beans with us," cried the monkeys. "They are almost done." "I would love to, Monkey," said Anansi. And again Anansi suggested he spin a web and tie one end to his leg and one end to the pot, so they could tug on the web when they were done cooking. Monkey thought this was a great idea. All the other monkeys thought so too. And so it was done. "I smell sweet potatoes," said Anansi as he ambled along. "Sweet potatoes and honey, I do believe." His friend Hog said, "My pot is full of sweet potatoes and honey. Come share my food with me." "I would love to," said Anansi. And again Anansi suggested he spin a web, tie one end to his leg and one end to the pot. His friend Hog thought that was a great idea, and so it was done. By the time Anansi arrived at the river, he had a string tied to each of his 8 legs. I wonder whose pot will be ready first, thought Anansi. Just then, he felt a tug on his first string. "Ah, that's Rabbit's greens," said Anansi. But just as Anansi started to walk towards Rabbit, he felt another tug on his second string, and then a third, and then a fourth. "Uh-oh," said Anansi. Pretty soon, all 8 of his legs were being pulled in different directions. Anansi tried to get free, but the strings kept pulling and pulled his legs thinner and thinner. Anansi struggled over to the river and rolled himself into the river to get all of the web strings dissolved into the water. Finally, Anansi was free of the strings. Oh my, said Anansi and his new 8 thin legs. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. And that is how Anansi got his 8 thin legs. And you know what? Anansi didn't get any food that day at all. The end. All right, so that is our story about how Anansi got his 8 thin legs instead of his little short legs that he had. Poor Anansi, he has always been just a little bit greedy. He wanted more food. He didn't want to do any work. Oh, goodness gracious, but we love our Anansi stories. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll be putting out new videos soon, and I am really glad that y'all tuned in. I miss y'all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and happy performing.